My youngest son, Caleb, likes to say, people are peoply. We're quite the creature, we human beings. So when we first began researching, my wife discovered she had the cancer. We began researching what first, things we thought is we'd really like to try to treat her cancer in a natural way rather than with chemotherapy. It turned out that the kind of cancer she had is so terrible. The doctor said, well, you can drink tea if you want to, but you're going to die. And the statistics and all that are so bad with it, so hard on it, that we did decide that we would go ahead and use the chemotherapy. But we did look into all sorts of things. We looked into intermittent fasting, very low calorie, diet. We looked into something called Manuka honey, and I made reports about it. We looked into turkey tail mushroom. I made reports about all of those things and little videos about each one that we did. And, kind of just, here's what we're looking at doing and so forth. People criticize or not criticize, it's their own business kind of thing. But one guy actually said, took the Manuka honey thing and said, though he's a scammer. And then just recently, I wrote to him I made another video about it, and he says, the sign of a true scammer. Well, a couple of things about it is, number one, I've never sold any of these products. I never sold some kind of diet program. I never sold Manuka honey. I never sold turkey tail mushrooms. It turned out we decided not to use the turkey tail mushroom during chemotherapy because there are some adverse effects. Actually, one of the things that we learned is if the chemotherapy doesn't work, and sometimes it doesn't, then one of those extreme measure type of plans is they did actually in the same place where they administered the chemotherapy. They were infusing people. They were through the portal. They were giving people infusions of turkey tail mushrooms. But they encouraged not to use that during the chemotherapy. So we stopped that turkey tail we used it up to chemotherapy, and she started it right after chemotherapy again. She does drink a tea each morning with a small amount of Manuka honey in it, just a little half teaspoon or something like that. She still does that because there are supposed to be some elements in the Manuka honey specifically that do tend to be cancer, fighting. And remember, honey is an antibacterial, so it isn't difficult to see. It's not a stretch to consider a honey something that would be cancer fighting. And then this one in particular has certain elements in it that are shown to be more cancer fighting. But the fact of the matter is, we're not scammers. Anita and I are not scammers. We're not selling anything. We're not making any money on this kind of stuff. We're living our life, and we're trying to share what we're learning as we live our life and try to get through things. Anita, by the way, is doing very, very well at this moment. How long that'll last, we don't know, but she is done with all of her chemotherapy. By the way, it was a year ago. In May, she began chemotherapy, and so we discovered the cancer in January of 23. Surgery was in March of 23. Chemo started in May of 23, finished in September, almost October, and then radiation began in October and finished at the very end of November, maybe the first week of December. And then there was some recovery time, and now she's over. So we've gotten through all of those things right now. She's doing quite well. How long that'll last, we don't know, but we are very, very thankful.